Vice President Kashim Shettima on Thursday presided over the 149th meeting of the National Economic Council at the State House in Abuja. We have joining us from Abuja Dr. Sam Aamadi, Director of the Abuja School of Social and Political Thought. Dr. Sam, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, there had been reports that the council wasn't going to discuss state police, and then they didn't, citing time constraint. So what could be so pressing that a matter at the heart of the nation currently regarding security couldn't be discussed?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with time constraint. I think it's strategic. I think the state police has been a dividing issue, and perhaps the management, the way the NEC works is that the office of the vice president provides the agenda, controls the agenda, and the vice president himself controls the agenda. So even if there could be some agreement that the matter will come up, if the vice president's office, shove it downwards, it will come up, and they will say, "Oh, time." And these governors don't consider NEC as important as their own cabinet meeting. So it's basically the level of commitment to NEC issues is very low. Oftentimes they pay lip service. No governor really takes those issues as personal because oftentimes they are public issues that no state has, extraordinary impact in particular state, and so the governors do not lead on them. And so if the vice president office for any reason does not prioritize an issue, then it misses out in the shuffle of agenda. Again, except the state governor cares so much as to raise it and they insist on that matter being discussed, it might be continuously shelved of the deliberations at the NEC.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Aamadi, the Nigerian Governors Forum has backed tech-driven security reforms and increased recruitment. Is this a solution we're looking for?
Sorry, I didn't get that clear.
They've backed tech-driven security reforms. That's the Governors Forum. I'm asking whether this is the solution that we're looking for.
Yeah, it's a solution that should not displace the other structural change. Okay, look, with more technology deployment, better technology, use of technology, you deal with some of the insecurity issues. We saw that with Anambra, with P2B, and Obiano continued, and perhaps Soludo is doing the same. So security, use of technology we have, especially in terms of monitoring, in terms of control centers to know what's going on in the state, rapid response, it works. But again, the operational efficiency of the police and the preventive nature of law enforcement requires structural change of the structure of the country's security architecture and the constitutional facilitation. And so if the governors, for example, based on the constitution, do not have the ability or the tools, the constitutional powers to take certain actions that are critical to efficient policing, because the power is concentrated on the IG, and the IG is mostly answerable to Mr. President, then you're going to get constrained in terms of the level of productivity and efficiency you will see in dealing with insecurity. So the fact that we could use technology should not be an alternative to needed restructuring, especially in terms of designating centers of authorization for law enforcement. So the idea of state police or even community police, it goes to not just about technology or logistics of policing, but as to the legality, who authorizes what, the legislative and legal support systems that enable more efficient operations. So I think that the discussions around better use of technology should be complementary to the more strategic redefinition of the constitutional and legal architecture of security in the country.
Okay. So not a substitute, instead a complement. Thank you very much, Dr. Aamadi. One last question here. The council formed a committee to come up with a joint security strategy. Yet again, another committee. What do you expect to come out of that?
Well, there are too many committees. I think the key point here is, look, we know some basic things to do. First, we need to get security to critically be an intelligence security platform, guarantees for the people. So security must be rooted in the people. Second, we know that we need a DNA change. The Nigerian security structure was designed as a regime protector, not for the people, based on coming from colonial rule. That DNA reconfiguration needs to be done. So this committee or any other committee, well, we wait for their reports, but we know that oftentimes committee has been the way they say that if you want much to be done about an issue, they give it to the committee. Oftentimes, what the committee does is to go back to reports, rephrase them and present a paper that goes back to a white paper and nothing gets done. So I don't have too much confidence in the committee. I do know that the governors can have a consensus and engage legislative change to have a better framework for police. I do know that many governors can make investments, use security votes, work together with adjoining states to create, even if it's regional, data center that helps in coordination. And I do know that without even a committee, some of the issues around the middle belt that requires political will to draw the line around religious exceptionalism and to declare clearly citizenship right that Nigeria is a secular state, and then for Nigeria protect the life of its citizens and make no exception to ethnic or religious, sense of entitlement. If we become a democratic state, we're going to truly solve almost half of the security challenges, because the country is porous, the country is in bed with religious extremism, the country is kind of farms out sovereignty to religious potentates, who then kind of becloud decision making at the most highest level of executive power. So I think that committee, yes, we need committee to do some strategic thinking, but more important is that we need clarity in self-definition, ideation. What are we? We're a country. We're not an assemblage of religious entities. We're not going to pander to any religious or ethnic exceptionalism, and we got to do brutally terrorists or all kinds of persons who challenge the sovereignty of the state or the welfare and life of its citizens.
Dr. Aamadi, I know I said that was the final question, but from everything you said, I have to ask this one question here. Now, everybody keeps talking about adopting state policing, but nobody talks about the structure the apparatus will take. So if Nigeria was to adopt state policing, what would be that structure?
I think, look, you have to be very clear. You don't just adopt a state policing without looking at the structure of the constitution and how you align everything. So state policing is not an add-on. So first, we have to be clear about our federation. A federation of states and federal, or a federation of states, federal, local government. If you're going to be a federation of federal, state, local government, and the Supreme Court seems to suggest, then you have to align the policing power in that way. So you're going to have a federal police, state police, government police. But the idea would be to be a federation of state and federal, and then give to states the powers to create their own policing, as long as they do not detract from a common fundamental rights, chapter 2, or the directive state policy in chapter 4 and chapter 2. So we need to be clear first what kind of federation we want. So because the policing power should align with the structure of the sharing of power between entities, federal, state, or federal, state, local government. If you're going to be federal, state, local government, then you could probably have federal police, state police, and of course, a local government police, in the way we used to have before, into the colonial era. So we also, some states like the US, we have counties having their own policy. So we need to have clarity, and that clarity will stipulate the kind of state policy we have.
All right. Well, thank you very much then, Dr. Aamadi.
Thank you so much.